Hello, and welcome to Courageous Doctors, the news show for you and your doctor. On this show, we'll be covering Obamacare updates, other important healthcare-related topics around the country, and healthcare and safety tips. Let's begin. The Associated Press in the Star-Ledger says that the Wellbeing Index finds that the uninsured in 2014 has dropped to 15.9%, down from 17.1%. The biggest decline was in households making less than $36,000 per year. The government website, healthcare.gov, asked everyone to reset passwords due to a security breach. The Wall Street Journal says that seasonal workers are losing their health insurance for no longer being considered full-time due to Obamacare. HHS Health and Human Service Secretary Sebelius has resigned after the close of the Obamacare sign-up. Speculation on the rocky start of the Obamacare website was thought to play a role. The president has asked OMB Office of Management and Budget Director Burwell to be the new HHS secretary. New York Times says that insurance is now too expensive for millions of Americans who no longer qualify for subsidies or who believe that the assistance is not enough to make the insurance affordable. Huffington Post shows that the gap in Medicaid expansion leaves 5.6 million uninsured where the states had rejected Medicaid expansion. They make too little to qualify for a subsidy, but too much to be on Medicaid. Congressional Quarterly talks of CHIP, the Children's Health Insurance Program, which will end in 18 months when Obamacare stops funding it. It now covers 8.5 million children. USA Today shows that the average couple will spend $22,000 on health care costs in retirement. The Associated Press says that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, will speed up approval of medical devices that treat life-threatening diseases and debilitating conditions. Washington Post says that the government is working to connect 30 million patient records by 2015. Let's move on to other healthcare updates. Star-Ledger says that the CDC, Center for Disease Control, reports that 50 million Americans are food poisoned each year. 2 million of these are due to resistant bacteria, and of those, 23,000 die. Wall Street Journal says that hysterectomies done by power morcellators, which cut up the uterus to remove it, if fragments are left inside, those can cause cancer. The Star-Ledger speaks of the Assembly looking at a couple of bills to increase the number of children that can now get school lunch. Previously, under the federal school lunch program, schools were only required to provide school breakfast and lunch if at least 20% of the students were in poverty. That number has been cut to 5% with this Assembly bill, so more students will be available to eat lunch. The New York Times shows that even though the diabetes rates have tripled in the last 20 years, complications of diabetes such as heart attacks, strokes, kidney failure, and amputations have fallen. There's been a mumps outbreak in several college campuses across the country, including Ohio State, Fordham, and Stevens Institute in Hoboken. The Washington Post reports a measles outbreak now in 13 states, mainly due to unvaccinated travelers. The Los Angeles Times reports that tuberculosis cases have decreased in the United States, except in 4 states, California, Texas, New York, and Florida, which comprise about half of the total cases in 2013. New York Times says that the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, has approved an inhaled form of insulin. On the Hill, the Gabriella Miller Kids First Research Act is dedicating $126 million over the next 10 years to cancer research by using funds that used to pay for presidential party conventions. Ms. Miller sadly died last year of brain cancer at the age of 10 years old. All right, let's move on to health safety tips. New Jersey Governor Christie has signed a bill establishing a statewide trauma care system plan. Right now, an advisory board will report back in 1 year on how to coordinate trauma among New Jersey's hospitals. In advocacy news, the Senate introduced a bill to allow out-of-state docs to now assist in federal declared disasters. New York Times says that HHS Secretary has new requirements for hospital readiness in disasters, which will maintain lighting, fire safety systems, sewage and waste disposal, and safe temperatures during a power outage. Associated Press says that in West Virginia, the chemical spill is still polluting drinking water now 100 days out. Los Angeles Times says that California lists hazardous products currently sold, including fire retardant foam in kids' sleep products, spray polyurethane foam, and paint strippers. Los Angeles Times says that the poison control centers are now seeing an increase in e-cigarette nicotine reactions, and just this week the FDA has brought out a requirement to put a warning label on these products. Lastly, the Washington Post reports that state attorney generals across the country are now pushing for Google to stop counterfeit online prescriptions. Well, that brings us to the conclusion of this news show. Thank you very much for watching. We look forward to being with you next month, and please feel free to send us in your comments.
Hi, my name is Tom Ragu of the Tom Ragu Sit Down Comedy Show. You can listen to us at the Broadband Box Office, and for more information, please visit www.tomragu.com/podcast.
It's the Mark Dacey Show, filled with gifts, fun, and surprises, and $20,000 in cash for every viewer. Well, maybe not. But we do talk about stuff and things that you might want to think about after, before, and during the show. It's engaging, at least. So come by, won't you? We're here at Facebook, on iTunes. We broadcast from VK Media right here on the East Coast, and we're part of broadbandboxoffice.com. Check us out, come by, like us, do what you can, spend some time, take some time off, sit down, have a viewing. It's happening, it's now, it's controversial, or maybe not. But we could use a couple of more viewers, maybe starting with you. Won't you?
Hi, I'm Randy Lupo, host of The Randy Lupo Show on Broadband Box Office. Wait, is that a tongue twister or an alliteration? Come meet my favorite people, comedians, actors, writers, spiritual people, and everyone in between. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Bob Gonzo of The Bob Gonzo Show. And I'm here to introduce The Bob Gonzo Show to you. Watch The Bob Gonzo Show on ComedyMondays.com and iTunes. Once again, ComedyMondays.com and iTunes. Watch it live, or you can watch it on the archives, which means you can watch it forever. Bob Gonzo is the greatest show on the internet right now. It's the funniest, it's the sweetest, it's endearing. We have stand-up comics, we have bands, we have actors, we have people in the fashion industry. We have everything you need. So once again, The Bob Gonzo Show, the greatest show in the world. And if you watch it, you will become a better and happier and sweeter person. You. Watch The Bob Gonzo Show, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.